Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction. Welcome to episode 37 of the DGA podcast. I am your host, Vince, and with me in the virtual studio is...
Idly.
Yay! How are you?
I'm good. I can't believe episode 37 already.
It doesn't feel
Crazy.
like it. I feel like we're on 100, but we're only on 37. I've I've tortured people with 36 episodes up to this point, and here comes 37. What are we talking about today, anyway?
Tortured? You mean enlightened?
Enlightened. Yeah, we'll go with enlightened. Sure, let's go with enlightened. Okay. What are we talking about this time around? It's something a little different, isn't it? We're not doing a top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
We're
like
doing a Q&A.
Are we? A Q&A?
Kind of, yeah. Like of customers and reviewers, and what would you like to see in a review?
I see. So...
Yeah.
we were talking in the car, and we were talking about different people that review games in different ways, and then we started thinking, like, okay, so for my own personal growth, what do you idly look for in a review? And I'm thinking, well, this might actually be an interesting topic of conversation for a podcast. I have a viewpoint from a reviewer's perspective where I cover tons of games, and then Ida Lee is coming from a viewpoint where she plays a ton of games. You've never actually reviewed a game, though, right? You just typically play them.
Yeah, I give my opinion on it because,
Oh, of course.
Everyone does that.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Women are not allowed to give opinions on anything. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He's obviously.
I all 2 of my remaining female subscribers. They've unsubscribed at this point. I'm kidding. All right.
He's definitely joking.
I am joking.
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah. See. Even
go.
Picard's telling me to shut up. Anyway, jokes aside. We were talking about what makes for a great game review. And this is going to be a little subjective because so many different people have so many different opinions on what makes for a good review. You know, some people like review scores, others like to read the entire article without a review score. It's going to be in the eye of the beholder kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to do a top 5, but I compiled a list of questions for her. And it's backwards, so, like, I want to point this way towards you, but the camera's revert anyway.
High five.
High five. Wait, hold on. Yes, I got it. That's great.
Oh my god.
That's how we high five in the house. We just sort of shove each other away. Anyway.
Yeah.
Soundboard. Fine.
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm recompiling my soundboard very slowly. I lost all of my stuff from the computer move, so you guys are just gonna have to suffer from random sound effects from time to time.
No.
I love that sound. Anyway, so would you like to do like I ask a question, you ask a question, or do you just want to go down the list of your questions and then my questions? Do you have a preference?
We could do alternating. I didn't even think of that. I think that's pretty fun.
Okay. You sent me, you as the amazing quote-unquote secretary that you are, put this very neatly for me. So we'll start with customer to reviewer questions is what you have written here. Mm-hmm. What was your first question listed there?
Mine was, how do you prepare for a review?
That's a very good question. Well, the first question is, am I being paid? And if I am, then clearly I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm kidding. That's something we'll talk about later.
That's another question.
Is it? Okay. Yes, I see that. Okay, we'll save it for then. So, all right, how do I prepare for a review? Typically what I do, it depends on how much time I have, but typically what I like to do is I like to look at the Steam store page or whatever. If it's a tabletop game, I'll look on the official website or on Board Game Geek just to get a feel of what the game is supposed to be about, what kind of genre it is, and that way I know whether or not I want to take the review in the first place, because there are some games that don't jive very well with my channel, and there are some games that I just don't like to play, like hardcore action platformers. Like that's a style of game that I have no interest in playing, unless it's a paid coverage, sponsored video kind of thing. I have no interest in touching it. So to prepare for a review, the first thing I do before anything is I figure out, do I want to touch this with a 10-foot pole? Because as you can imagine, as you become more and more popular, not saying I am, but as you become more and more developers reach out to you to cover their game. And some of them are questionable in nature, especially for a family-friendly audience. So I have to first do a little bit of research, see what the game is like. And if I see something I don't like, I hex it right there and then. Unless, again, if it's a sponsored paid thing, but again, that's a different topic. But yeah, I will look at the Steam store page. If it's a video game, if it's a board game, I'll look on Board Game Geek. And to prepare for the review, I'll try and set aside enough time depending on the genre type. If it's a game like Assassin's Creed, that review process will be much different than, say, Getting Over It with Brody, whatever his name is. You know what I mean? Like, they're two totally different games. One requires a time commitment, while the other one literally takes 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So the pre-review process is, do I care for the game at all? And if I don't, maybe I just shouldn't touch it. Yeah. And then if I do care for it, then I'll read more about it and try and, like, I'll go to the main menu of the video game real quick just to see if it jibes well with my broadcasting software. Because if it doesn't, then covering it's going to be very, very difficult. So technical and research, I do like 15 to 20 minutes worth of research prior before I even start playing the game. Does that answer your question?
Yes. So you kind of have like standards,
I do. I had to. I used to not, if you can believe it. Like, when I first started out, I would take whatever game was thrown at me because I would only get one game a week. So, like, I'm like, oh, someone sent me something! It's trash, but I love it! Yay! And now I'm at the point now where, okay, I have 15 games to choose from. Do I want Hentai Simulator 2022, or do I want something that would actually be a good game? So I have to pick and choose. It's constant. It's just so I'm sorry, I don't mean to blast that genre, but it's just not for me.
Yeah, it's the same way for like art jobs or for graphic creators or even gamers or gaming creators, because I remember watching a video of a man speaking, trying to teach how to create games, and he said to all the people who want to create games, just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter if it's a trash game, just do it, and then eventually you'll have work coming in and your standards will be a lot higher. So it was kind of interesting to hear that.
That's cool.
So it was kind of similar.
As you gain more experience in this field, in any field, you'll start developing standards for yourself. You are less likely to be pushed around. If a developer emails me now, in days of yore, when I first started out, I'd be like, oh, whatever you need, I'll reshoot the video. Nowadays, I'm like, nah. I have standards now. I have self-respect now. This is how I do things, and if you don't like it, tough. That's you need to develop a tough skin.
Yeah.
In this industry.
There's a dignity to that.
Yes,
you
exactly.
Have to keep, a reputation.
Right. Yeah. So
good answer.
Thanks.
Good answer.
I don't have a sound effect for that. I have.
Do not hug me.
No.
Okay.
Stay on target.
Fine. That's fine.
Stay on target.
So my question to you, reviewer to customer questions: do you prefer funny or more informative reviews?
Ooh. It kind of depends. A lot of this is super dependent on the mood, the mood swings. But
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole either.
The mood.
Here.
Do not hug me.
Yeah, do not hug me. Yeah, That's you in the morning.
Do not hug me.
Until I got my coffee.
In that same vocal tone too. Do not hug me. Yeah.
I personally like informative reviews. Like, if there's a little bit of humor in it to keep your attention, then that's great, you know. But if it's always too funny, then it kind of could just, I don't know, I end up tuning out. You know, if it starts becoming like a comedy show, I just start tuning out, thinking it's really funny, but like not grasping what the game actually is. But if you have a really informative review and you have some funny stuff like here and there, I think that's a good review. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Well, it keeps you engaged. Do you remember Ben Stein from, well, Wonder Years, and he had a show?
Is he the one that's like
Clear Eyes? Yes.
Ugh,
It might be informative, but if someone talks like that, good luck maintaining attention. Like, I mean, like, consider nowadays the attention span of the average person is 2 or 3 seconds, something like that. So unless you can get them hooked right away, it's a bad... So more and more and more gamers and streamers are moving toward yelling at the camera every 2 seconds to appease the kids. I don't sell out like that. But, you know, some people like it. I'm just saying, like, I like a more mature approach to things with the occasional humor.
Yeah.
But there are some very successful streamers out there that make a living off of every thumbnail is, you know what I mean? Like, fine, if you want to appease that audience, more power to you. But that's just not my style. Anyway.
That's the generation, I guess.
I guess. Anyway. Yeah. So that's a good answer. So you like both funny and informative.
Yeah, I lean more towards the informative with the occasional, like, pun in there.
The pun. It has to be a dad joke or you're out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A dad joke in there, a little pun here and there. I don't know. This is, just a little something simple to keep me engaged, you know?
Oh, I don't have a sound effect for engage. So, I'm rebuilding things, so I will...
That's alright.
I'll give you...
Do you have, like, do-do-do-do...
I don't even have that. I have...
He's biting that female.
That's as good as I can possibly get. Alright, so anyway... Alright, so I guess my next question to you is, what do you look out for when reviewing games? I guess it kind of ties back to... Is
that the customer to reviewer question, or the...
Yes, it's under your list here, customer to reviewer question.
Yeah.
So what do you look for? I guess that does sort of tie back to you, like, funny or informative, but I guess this is more of a broader question. When you are researching a game online, and you have 10 different articles, which one do you gravitate toward? Is it the one that looks neat and concise and with the occasional humor, like you said, or are there particular things you look for?
Kind of. It really depends what I am looking for. Like, if I'm just looking for a general review of a game that I haven't played, then I'll look for some informative paragraphs and, you know, like what it has, what's their opinion on it. But if I'm just if I have a game already and I kind of want to reaffirm my thoughts on it and I'm looking for reviews on it, then I wouldn't mind seeing just like the simple bullet point type of things. I don't know. I guess it's weird, huh?
No, it's not like weird reverse. At all. It's not weird at all. In fact, I think I made a mistake. I think that was your question to me, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a question to you.
You're so polite. You were so polite. You're like, "Hun, you're screwing up again." You could say it. It's fine. I'm old.
I was like, wait.
Are you sure, hon? You want to reread that? All right. So your question to me is, what do you look out for when reviewing games? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fine. So, should we cut that or should we just keep it?
Well, you can keep it. It's funny.
All right, whatever. It's fine. It just shows how bad I'm getting as I get older. Just how. Anyway.
So, Dad's Gaming Edition.
So, Ida Lee.
What do you look out for when you review games? Like, that's kind of like the meat. Like the meat. Right?
What do you look out for when reviewing games? I kind of touched on this in the prior question. This was more along the lines of, is it family friendly-ish? Is it something I would care to play? And do I have time and the effort, the time and the energy to actually properly review a game right now? That's what I generally look for. But again, like you said, how do you prepare for a review in your prior question? Everything I do there are the things that I would do to look out for when reviewing games, if that makes any sense.
So I meant that question when you're reviewing a game, what is something that you're looking for in a game? Like, are you looking for
you mean
a lot of settings? Are you looking for
I see. Okay,
that sort of thing.
Okay, I see what you're asking now. Okay, so you're asking for, like, while I'm playing the game, what do I look for?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, settings or accessibility options and settings. If you have a $50 game, for example, and your only options are a full screen toggle and a sound toggle, and that's it, I'm going to blast you for it. There's no reason for you to treat a $50 game like a mobile game. I'm sorry, but, like, I deserve better than that as a gamer. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to Alt-Tab to go to my audio settings and reduce the sound levels because you're too lazy to put audio sliders in your game. That's a huge pet peeve of mine, when you can't be bothered on the back end to make the user's experience a better one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm elitist that way, but I just feel like it's 2022 at this point, so, let's get with the times here. It's not excusable. Other things I look out for when I review games, aside from a good backbone, I like games that are... I don't want to say high graphically intensive, because there's a lot of strategy games and simulations out there, even idle games, that have really crappy graphics that are really well done. Rogue Tower, for example, doesn't have much in the way of graphics at all, but the tower defense element is interesting to me.
The Lucky Looter.
Lucky Looter? What's that?
That Lucky Slot game, the slot.
Luck Be a Landlord. You didn't like the art style of that, but I'm so addicted to that. Circadian Dice. The art in that isn't that great, but, like, the dice rolling and the engine building and the dice, all that is so fun. So the graphics aren't as important to me as the accessibility to a new player, tutorials. I hate it when developers expect you to know how to play their game. You can't read their mind. So, like, developers know how to play it, and then they push the game out and they're like, well, no one can understand how to play this. Why is that? Well, no one knows, because you're not telling them. You know what I mean? That's a big pet peeve of mine. My time is precious, so if I have to sit here for a half an hour and try and figure out your interface, I'm moving on to the next game.
Yep.
That's just, I'm sorry, but as he's both a reviewer and a consumer, my time is more valuable than that. So I guess accessibility, learning curve, or ease of tutorial, like ease of learning the game. The older I get, the less patience I have, so don't be doing lazy stuff, I guess. So those are my primary things. In terms of, like, price is another big one. I try to gauge how many hours does it take to complete this game, or how many hours would it take to complete this game, and what's the current price tag. If you play a game like Northgard, for example, you know that each match takes easily an hour, sometimes more. And on sale, it's $7.50 right now. So, like, that's, like, going to the movies right now is more expensive. Watching a 1 or 2 hour movie in the theaters right now with someone else is, like, what, a $40, $50 experience nowadays because of popcorn and everything else? When you can just buy a video game and play it for 30, 40, 50 plus hours and only pay $7 for it. Those are price versus gameplay length is another big thing I look for when I'm reviewing a game. So, all right. Should we move on to reviewer to customer questions? Yours?
Sure.
All right. So are your preferred reviews to the point or in depth? Meaning, do you like bullet points and categories and nice organized things, or do you like just long stretches of paragraph and text and Like, how do you like your reviews organized?
So I kind of said a little bit about that when that question was like turned over the previous question.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't make any mistakes.
So again, it depends like what I'm looking for, what mood I'm in, or whatever. But I guess generally, in a general sense, I like the bullet points when I'm looking for someone's opinion on a time crunch or on a game that I already have. But if I don't know of a game, like completely, I'm just kind of clueless about it. I want the articles. I want the long paragraphs so that I can really know a lot about it, be pretty, informed about it. But at the same time, if the paragraphs are cluttered with things that aren't relevant, I just
Yes.
really don't care
When I
about.
was a kid back in
Yeah.
19 whatever, my dad used to blah blah, and then this goes on for four. It's like the Lord of the Ring books. I love Lord of the Rings, but I tapped out around page 20 because there was half of those pages. There was a 10-page song about the Shire's sewer system. I could give a rat's, you know what, about the Shire sewer system. All they do is sing. Get to the
Yeah.
part where Aragorn is holding a sword and cutting some Nazgul's arm off or something. I don't need all this Bombadil's song about the... I don't care. Anyway.
That's how it was with Game of Thrones. Like, I really try to get into the Game of Thrones books, but it was like the whole first half of the book was just talking about how they met the wolves, and like they just described it in such detail. It started like going off the deep end, and then would go back to the wolves, and then off the deep end again, and then back to the wolves. It was just so ridiculous.
Did they, like, talk about every single strand of hair on the wolf?
The leaf, all the forests, the trees that were surrounding them, like as they came across the
So
wolves,
wait,
they
tree
talked
number
about the
one...
temperature.
Are you serious? Tree
It
number
was
one
so
has a
ridiculous.
history of wind, and then tree number two, the maple leaves has a history. I can't.
They came across like a stream, and it went off on a tangent about water, and it was just so silly.
I'm pretty
And
sure cannabis was involved when someone was writing those parts of the book. I'm sorry.
so, like, when I read a review, if the paragraphs start describing other things about their life, like, okay, as a customer to you, right, to a
Right.
reviewer, I don't mean any offense. And I got nervous about this podcast because I don't want to offend
Oh,
fans,
here we go.
as the
I've got a
reviewer.
sound effect ready for this. Go ahead.
But as a customer,
Tread carefully.
I don't really care when I read an article of a game review. I don't care about the person writing it. I
Oh, wrong one. Anyway, how
I care
dare you
about the
not
game.
care about me? I've got a life. I've got a girlfriend.
Yes.
I've got a kid. How dare you? How dare you come here to read
Unless
about the thing I wrote? How dare you?
I mean, if the reviewer has like separate like links, leading to his other things like vlogs or the personal business, his Facebook, then if I were to make that choice to do my research on this specific reviewer, then sure, there's an option for that. But if you just kind of intrude your own life into the articles that I'm trying to read about a game, then that's kind of like, come on, just get to the point already.
I am
So,
wounded!
Exactly. I as a reviewer, to be honest with you, I agree with that. I try really hard not to insert my own experiences. Part of me feels that I'm trying to find a way to relate to the reviewer so that they're more interested in reading it. But I totally see your point where if you've got 10 minutes and you want to know if a game is good or not, you don't want to have to sift through fluff. Just give me the highlights. Let me know if this game is good or not. I don't care right now if you have these personal issues going on, or you visited a cabin in the woods with your dad back when you were 7 years old. Like I totally get where you're coming from on that. So it sounds to me that you're more into the bullet points, just to answer your...
I kind of am. Like, in the Steam, I like Steam reviews sometimes where they have those bullet points, you know?
The pros and cons section.
Yeah, the pros and cons, the little check marks, like, oh, is this game too long, too short, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll have, like, the little check mark next to the appropriate thing. But, you know, at the same time, I don't know. I think every article or every review should have both, to be honest.
I think it depends on the website. Like, back in days of yore, when there was no Steam, we had magazines. We had then websites like Games Radar and IGN and PC Gamer. That's where you got into the long-winded, fluffy reviews. And then once you start getting into user reviews, like on Steam, I find them to be typically more short and to the point and concise because they don't write on a regular basis to have a whole lot to say. Yeah. So yeah, I can appreciate both sides of it. As someone that's in a hurry, I prefer the quicker approach to it. The path of least resistance.
The TLDR.
The TLDRs, yes, exactly. All right. Where are we at now?
My question to you.
Is that what it is? Okay, go for it.
Yes. So, do you do your own research, or do you like to go into it completely blind?
If it's a first impressions or reaction to a game, let's say a friend of mine buys me a Getting Over It or some sort of gaggy game that is super popular right now, I would go into that one blind and stream it just for the reaction video part of it. But typically, if I'm trying to be professional about it, I'll do my own research first. That way I sound more informative. Yeah. I've tried first impressions video like years ago where I would just play it for the first time and then I'd be sitting there, click, click, click. Oh, what? I can't figure this out. Click, click, click. And then the person watching it, I'm realizing, is going, oh my God, just please move on or figure this out before. I can understand that. People watch. I can imagine people getting frustrated watching me trying to figure out what it is I'm supposed to do. So I try to do my research beforehand now, and then talk about games after I've had a chance to play them. If that makes any sense. But I'm guilty of that. I tried different things as I grew as a reviewer or / content creator, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. I've been called worse. So I'm just saying, like, that's just personal growing in this industry. Like, that's just something I've had to personally, figure out as I continue doing things. And I found a niche in playing the game prior, but not to extensive lengths. Like, just enough. More like a first impression / informative, and then I'll cover it for 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and that's that. On occasion, I do long streams, but that's not a review. That's more just for fun.
Yeah. So on a follow-up question to that, so like, what do you prefer as a reviewer, and what do you prefer, like when you're not reviewing games and you're just playing a game? Do you actually prefer doing your research, or do you actually prefer just going into it blind?
If I'm playing it without being professional, I'll go into it blind.
Okay.
I'll figure it out as I go. Unless it's a game like Don't Starve or Oxygen Not Included, where I have to alt-tab and Google every single thing because nothing is explained in game to you, then I'll have to do research on it. But I only do the research when I'm stuck in game because something isn't explained very well. But typically, if I am playing the game for my own enjoyment, I will go into it blind.
Okay.
But if I am expected to cover it, I will do some research first to at least give you the impression that I'm somewhat professional and know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Even when I sound like I don't,
This is a good title for this podcast, would be like Behind the Scenes of
Behind the Scenes. Yeah. That might be better than what I came up with.
Oh, no.
So, my question to you now, how long should a reviewer play a game before critiquing it?
I know there's been many a time where you get upset when people say, oh my gosh, you gotta play this for longer.
You have no idea. I will simply say that you cannot polish a turd. No matter how much you try, So if I play a game for 5 minutes and I know it's crap, I will call it out as crap and move on to the next game. No amount of Stockholm Syndrome is going to make me give a crap game a good review. My time is more valuable than that. That being said, please continue with your answer.
As a customer.
As a customer.
A customer. Not as your girlfriend, but as your customer.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to get another sound effect ready.
I think... Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Think that...
I'm watching you very intently.
Oh, no.
Be cautious of what you're about to say.
Oh, no. So, when someone writes an article, a game article, a review for a game, they should at least get to mid-game, I think, before a proper review, in my personal opinion. At least to mid-game. But here's the thing. Mid to end game. But here's the thing. I think any reviewer, especially like a professional one at that, should have a dev mode in there, like the dev cheats or whatever, a dev build.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to see all the content, if it takes too long to get there, they should have the ability to just see everything in the game. So that way they can properly review it.
Yes, agreed.
If game developers just kind of don't really give a heads up on how long their game is and how long it will take, and if it takes too long, they don't give them any sort of dev build or whatever, then how is the reviewer gonna review all of the content? You can't. So
behind the scenes on my end, more often than not, I am given a key the day before or the day of or even the day after release. And if I am given a key a week before, it's to some kind of dev build that is super early access and full of bugs. And if it's a game like Assassin's Creed, where I have to spend a gazillion hours to see the end of it, that's just not doable.
Yeah.
So even people, professional reviewers at writers like at IGN or other magazines, PC Gamer, whatever, they have a dedicated staff, and even then, sometimes they receive games that just you don't have enough time to cover it before it releases. So you're forced to cram as much as you can. Then you have to write the article as well as you can, and then and hope that no one blasts you for it. A lot of people don't realize that we as reviewers, we don't often get the tools that we need or the time that we need to properly review something before release. So what are our two options? Do we release the review knowing that we didn't get to cover everything that we wanted to cover, or do we wait 3 more weeks, fully play the game, see what it has to offer, and then release the review? But by then, because of the game being out for 3 weeks already, the fad is done and over with, and no one's going to click on your article because there's now a new thing out there that people are more concerned about. You know what I mean? Unless it's Phasmophobia or some super popular game, it's still happening now. Typically, the buzz dies off soon after a launch. So you're stuck with, I have to release this on release day, or no one's going to look at it because they'll get their information from somewhere else. Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem. Like you said, having a dev build where all the levels are unlocked or all the powers are unlocked, I think I have not once... No, I take that back. 1% of the games I get have something like that, have cheat codes or something. Most recently, what was that? Gas Station Simulator? When they gave me a key for you can touch this DLC, they included a money button that I could push to give myself more money so that I could buy stuff faster. Otherwise, I would have been there forever trying to get to that new content. You know what I mean? So, very rarely do I get anything like that. I will say it also, Empires of the Undergrowth, the developers were like, if you need a save file that you can load to get to the new Fire Ant stuff, then let us know. That's something that all developers should be doing, but they don't.
Yeah, I think a lot of people confuse this accounts for game developers and just regular players. I think people get game testers and game reviewers mixed up. Like a game reviewer just reviews games. He doesn't really have the time to test a game out. It's more of a review. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
game testers will, go about and test the bugs and put their time in for, specific games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's my opinion, at least.
No, I agree. I don't think reviewers are there to give you 100% information about the game. I think they are there to play test the game, and when I say play test, I mean try it out for a specific length of time, and then tell you whether or not they enjoyed playing it, and then point out any major issues with the game. And then based on their experience with it, like, okay, who would like this game? Maybe inform people as to who would like it. It doesn't, I don't think a reviewer has to be 100% invested in the game itself to fully review it, because it's not possible. It's just, I get 7 to 10 review offers a week without being paid to do them. I don't take them all, but could you imagine if I tried to fully review the games that I do cover? I would never I wouldn't have a personal life. You know what I mean? I'm not getting paid to do these. 99% of the time, I am not being paid to review games. So I have to, at some point, draw a line and say, okay, I've played this game enough. This is what I think of it. And after that, you're on your own. You know what I mean? Take my opinion for what you will. Anyway.
So minimum 3 months. This is my answer for that question.
All right, hold on.
I'm kidding.
I have to find...
Okay.
Yeah, all right, fine. Good enough.
Shut up, Wesley.
Hold on.
Shut up, Wesley.
Yes, perfect. You're better at the soundboard than I am, I think. All right. Where are we at now?
Now I'm going to ask a question to you.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you sure? I thought you just asked me a question.
You asked me a question. How long should a reviewer play?
Okay, you're correct. I'm old. Continue.
It's okay. I'm marking things down. Don't worry.
I am not.
Okay.
I've got a soundboard, OBS, Discord. I've got 10 different things open.
I got you. I'm the co-host. I got you.
Okay.
So.
And
I am the Senate.
I am the Senate. All right. I had to play that. Go ahead.
Do it. All right.
Do I have that one? I don't. Sorry.
Okay.
Do it. There.
All right. So, here's my question for you.
Okay.
As a reviewer, is rage quitting a no-no when reviewing, or is it part of the review?
It is part of the review.
It is part of the review.
It is. All right. If I am being paid to cover the game, then I am more inclined to grit my teeth and go through it. But if I am not being paid to cover a game, and I end up rage quitting, my personal health is more important to me than your crappy you-know-what game. So
Even if you didn't see all the content,
correct.
You can't review it properly.
Correct. I think people often... We're getting into, like, deep psychological territory here. Like, when it comes to, like, again, professional reviewers, they are being paid to write articles on video games and review those games fully. Whereas me, 99% of the time, I am just a Joe Schmo who happens to play a lot of games. And if it's not worth my time, I'm going to move on to the next one, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, nothing... I am not being supported in any way to continue bashing my head against a wall to put out content for something that I hate. You know what I mean? And I think it's important that people get the rage quit moment or experience that a reviewer has, because what if they have the same interests as me? What if they have the same personality and the same, I don't know, the same interest in games? I think they would rather someone else experience the pain rather than go through it themselves. I often joke when I play a crappy game, hey, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction. I play the crappy game so that you don't have to. You know, I make jokes like that sometimes, but it's true. If I come across something bad and it enrages me to the point, if I'm not having fun, then if I'm not getting paid, then why should I continue doing it? It doesn't make any sense to me. This hobby, I am reviewing and covering games to have fun and to enjoy myself. If I'm not getting paid for it, then my enjoyment comes out of just playing the game. If my sole reason for playing something is the enjoyment, because I'm not getting paid, and I'm not having fun, then I'm moving on, because what's the point? I'm miserable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in my world, I think it's perfectly okay to rage quit and move on. Whereas if I was being paid to professionally cover something, then I would grit my teeth, make note of my distaste, and then continue on with the game for whatever length of time was agreed upon as is stipulated by whatever contract that we had. But if it's a non-paid game, rage quit is completely 100% fine. Yeah. In my opinion.
It's hard because, like, as a customer, like, you're watching a video of a reviewer, and when they get so frustrated to the point of almost rage quitting, it gets into a frustrating kind of emotion right there, and then it gets to entertaining, and then it gets to awkward, and then it gets to cringe, and then it goes back to, like, entertaining again. So, you know, a rage quit, it can be good, it can be bad, you know?
It's a roller coaster.
It's a make or break kind of thing.
But you are one of those people that like watching those cringe videos. I've seen you.
Yeah. It's like secondhand embarrassment. It makes me feel better about my life.
Oh, I see.
A little bit.
Have I rage quit on stream? When have I don't remember. Have I rage quit on stream? I'm pretty sure I have a couple of times.
I'm pretty sure you have. Even the board games that we've played, we've rage quit that one game.
Yes, we did. Because I did. That it wasn't Tribes. It was a Friedman Freeze, like, caveman.
It was a caveman.
First Sparks, I think it was. First Sparks. I didn't care for it. Yeah. I got it. I wasn't being paid to cover it. So I'm like,
you didn't record it, so it never released.
It did.
Did it?
Yeah. I recorded up to that point, and then we just gave our thoughts on it, and then I published it as is.
I see.
I wasn't being paid to cover it, so I don't see why the user shouldn't get my full experience with it. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Okay. All right. So
I have a question for you. Yes. Should reviews be spoiler free?
Ooh. Yes and no. Again, it all depends, really. Like,
I would be pissed if I was reading reviews on The Walking Dead, the video game, and then, oh, spoiler, this person dies in Chapter 3. I'd be like, well, why bother playing it now?
We have spoiler tags now. Like, thank God for digital articles and digital media. There are spoiler tags, you know? But me, personally, I don't mind spoilers. I really don't.
You are one of those weird people that look up the movie on Wiki before watching it to see if you would like it.
Yeah.
Would you have been pissed?
No.
If you found out that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father prior to seeing it Empire Strikes...
It would have still surprised me if I watched it.
But you knew.
Because every time I read something, right, it always plays differently in my head. So when I actually end up watching a movie and that spoiler thing comes on and I already know what's going to happen, it plays completely different from what was in my head, and it still surprises me. Like, I don't know, I like spoilers, and it makes me feel better about watching something. I don't want to waste my time if I'm not going to like an ending, you know?
Interesting. That's a different take on it. I don't like... I hate spoilers. I hate them.
I don't mind them. In video games, I don't even mind them in video games. But I don't know. Like, if there's an article and it has spoiler tags, at least there should be spoiler tags for people who don't want to get spoiled. I respect people who don't want to get spoiled, and I think an article that has a bunch of spoilers that don't have spoiler tags, if it ruins it for other people, then that's kind of obnoxious, you know. So
what is the point of spoiling it spoiling stuff in a review, though? Is it to cover a particular gameplay part that was highly controversial?
Yeah,
like, for example, like Call of Duty, there was a huge controversy about There was, you played a character that was walking through an airport very slowly, gunning civilians down. That drew a bunch of controversy for the longest time. I don't remember if that was ever spoiled in a review.
How is that a spoil, though? I don't.
Well, because it's a dramatic and new-ish type of scene that we typically don't see in video games anymore. It pushed the boundaries to what we would typically see in a video game, where you're actually the bad guy gunning civilians down. I mean, it's with Call of Duty-like graphics, you almost felt like you were trash for doing what you were doing. Even though the game said you didn't even have to shoot or anything, just the fact that you were walking with your compatriots doing that, like, I'm just saying, like, I don't see the point of, unless it's something major like that really pushes the envelope and could bother a lot of people, I don't see a need for spoilers in a review.
Yeah, I think if it was a necessity and if it was a spoiler, then there should at least be a warning, a tag for it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know.
You mean like a non-spoiler section and then a spoiler section?
Yeah. Like, or like if you're about to explain a spoiler or giveaway because you want to review it, you can say, spoilers here, I'm about to review this. It's going to ruin your day if you haven't played it or something, Do
you think it's important to have that in a review? Is that something you want to see and know before going into a game?
It really depends what game. It depends what game. It depends what information it has. Again, me personally, I'm all for it. I'm all for that.
You're weird. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I am. I know a lot of people are like, why? I know.
I don't think... No, I'm sure there are other people out there like you that have the same preference. I'm anti-spoiler myself. Go ahead.
I have a cousin. Now, this I don't do. It's weird. I'm okay with spoilers with games, and I'm okay with spoilers with video games and movies, but I don't like spoilers in books. And my cousin reads the ending of books first, and then she'll read the whole thing. I can't do that.
Why?
That I cannot do.
Why would you do that?
She gave me the reason, the same thing. The same reason that I gave. Like, if I read an ending to a movie and I don't like it, I don't want to waste my time. So she does the same thing with books. Like, if she reads the end of a book and she doesn't like it, she's not going to waste her time reading it. But I can't do that. I actually love books, and I love, like, the mind, like, what the mind does.
It tells a story. So. I get it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Always learning something new, right?
I guess.
All right. What question do you have for me, if any?
Yes. Your question is, does bias influence your reviews?
To be honest with you, there's no such thing as a non-biased review.
Okay.
Reason being, we are human beings. Mm-hmm. Everything that we've experienced in life in some way shapes how we think and what we do. Yeah. So when we play a game and we review a game, we take from those experiences and what we know, the values that we have, and we incorporate that into a review. So I don't think it's possible to create a completely non-biased review. Star Trek, for example. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. So yeah, I'm going to be biased a little bit. I'll make note of the gameplay and I'll say it's trash or whatever. But as a Star Trek game, I might make allowances for it. Look at Star Trek 5-Year Mission, the board game that we play. Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite game to play, but because it's Star Trek themed, I'm more inclined to play it. That's bias, I guess. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's possible, to be honest with you, to be completely unbiased about a review, because you're a human being, you have emotions, you have experiences, and again, you are who you are because of those experiences. So there's no way to not be you when you are writing a review.
Yeah.
Does that, unless you are writing a fact sheet, you know what I mean? Like a fact, just a bullet point facts, just facts. There is no way to be unbiased.
that's why I think that's why bullet points and like the short to the point type of reviews are so sought after, because you cannot really be that biased about those. So if a game is like really short, but you love the game so much and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to say it's short, but you kind of have to because it's right there,
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of have no choice but to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand your viewpoint. I don't know. If I was a reviewer, I would definitely have a high standard of something like if there
If
was
it was
a
My Little Pony,
mhm,
okay, the deck builder coming out.
yeah, that's a
Are you?
standard.
Would that be
That,
some? All right. Would you buy that day one, regardless of how bad or good it
no,
is?
no,
You
not
wouldn't.
day one. I would wait at least till the price goes down. I
But
love
all right,
My Little Pony,
all
but
right,
not like
all
that
right. Let me
much.
let me rephrase this question. My Little Pony deck builder comes out. It's in development, by the way, but it comes out and it's now on sale for $20.
Ooh,
You don't know how it's been reviewed yet.
okay.
Um, would you just go out and buy it just because of the theme? Are you that biased to where it looks like a deck builder, so I'll pick it up, or do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's
I
that
get it.
line. There's that line, and
Here's the
that's
thing, though. I guess it's really dependent on people. Like The Sims, for example. I've always been a fan of The Sims. When Sims 4 came out, I was devastated because I had a standard. I was so wanting Sims 4 to be great, and it just wasn't as good as the previous
it's
installments.
because it was 1/4 of a game, and then EA decided to release the
Yeah.
remaining 3/4 in
Mhm.
$50 expansion packs.
Ugh. Yeah, but like that's for anything else. Like Planet Zoo, for example, that's another one. I love the game, but I'm not in any hurry to buy all the expansion packs. It's just it. I don't know. I guess it just depends. And like that My Little Pony deck builder, that has to be good. It needs to be good because I love My Little Pony, and if it's not a good game, then my bias, I guess, would influence it in the sense that I will trash it so hard if it's not as good as I think it should be.
As a consumer,
Mhm.
would you continue playing the My Little Pony deck builder game if it turned out to be crap?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Even though it's My Little Pony.
I don't care what the theme is, even if it's like my favorite thing of all. If it
Okay.
had filled with cheesecakes, if it's a bad game, it's a bad game.
Okay. I'm just curious because bias works both ways there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
If
good
it's
to know.
I think if it's a bad game, it's a bad game. Doesn't matter what the theme of it is. There's always going to be something else that's going to have that same theme, but going to be better. And play that, you know?
Okay, makes sense. I don't think. I mean, I'm biased. Like, if it's Star Trek or Star Wars, Indiana Jones, I am more inclined to play those games. But I think I've reached a point now in my experiences as a reviewer to where I can point out its flaws without being so starstruck about it. Maybe
Yeah.
when I first started out and I was like, oh, FT, like my first game that I ever reviewed on my blog, at least video game, was FTL.
Wow, I thought it was Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It was not. The
Wow.
first press copy that I ever got from a developer was FTL, Faster
Oh, what
Than
a
Light.
great game.
So good. So good. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. But I was so starstruck by it that I kind of ignored some of the things that bothered me about it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But now
Yeah.
that I go back to the game and I'm like, this does bother me. Why'd I give it a 9 out of 10? I mean, it's a good game. I still recommend it wholeheartedly. But, like, I reread my review from years and years ago, and I'm like, why didn't I talk about this? Why didn't... I guess I was
Yeah.
too odd at the time to really see that.
Yeah.
But that's really the only... I think that's more of an experience issue than... I guess as I get older and more experienced... I'm able to separate my personal bias from realism, if that realistic expectations, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Okay. I have to read you one now.
Yes.
Okay. Should sensitive topics be included in a review? Like, let's say a game
Absolutely.
talks about religion or anything like politics. Should the
Absolute-
reviewer... Okay.
Because I think of a review as a journalistic type of thing, and any type of journalism should have, facts going into it. If a review, if it has an opinion sensitive topic, then that's a bit like, oh, great, just give me the facts. Just give me the, just what it has, what does the game have, what it doesn't have. But then if you start going on a tangent about your opinion on it and putting your own beliefs on it, then that's, I'll look for another review, because I don't care. Like, even if you agree with me, it shouldn't be on a review, because other people won't agree with it. I think it's silly, honestly. Right. But
yeah, if the article ended in Trump 2022 or whatever, I'm just saying, like, it's just not appropriate for a reviewer to add to the end of the review article.
If it, like, there's a game, right? There's a game out there. I forget what it's called, but it has Trump references, and I know a lot of people are gonna not like this.
Uh-oh.
You're not a fan of Trump. I am.
Yes.
And
see, folks, it's possible. We've been together for 5 years. It's possible for two people with opposite viewpoints to get along and coincide with each other. Just saying. Yes. It's possible.
We just don't talk about it.
Yeah, we just punch each other in the face whenever we mention politics. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So the game had references to that, and while it did offend me, I appreciated a review that had those, facts spelled out. Oh, okay, so this has, these Trump references, they said this, they said that, and I was glad about that. I was glad that they actually, said that in a review. But if the review had something like, oh yeah, that was great, it was hilarious, and it was so funny, and it was this, and then it was that, and I'm just like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I think it should be mentioned as a warning point to others, because I don't want to get into it too deeply, but I will just say that today's generation is more easily offended by certain things than when I grew up. When I grew up, there was no problem with your dad or your granddad beating you with a stick. I'm just saying, like, even the teachers in school would beat you. I'm just saying, like, that's today is so much different now than I remember growing up. So, like, I forgot the point I was trying. I guess what I'm saying is people are just more this is my psychology session. Anyway, I think people are just more sensitive nowadays. So a review that warns people that, hey, there are politics in this game. If you're easily offended, you may not want to play it. Oh, there's nudity in this game. If you've got kids or whatever, don't play it. I think those are very important to add to a review. But if you're going to start going off on a 4-paragraph tangent as to why the man should be taken, like, no, just don't. I'm done at that point. Just give me the facts. It's like the dinner table. Like, there are certain things you don't talk about at the dinner table. Politics, religion, whatever else it is. I think the same should be said with a review. Just let people know that it's there, but don't really go into it more than that.
Try not to have an opinion, because there's so many people that have opinions about it.
Or just give us the severity of it. Like, oh, there's religion in this, but nothing that relates to Christianity or anything modern day. It's a made up sci-fi religion. You know what I mean? Something where it's made up and would not offend anyone, because it's clearly science fiction at that point.
That's informative. I look up movies whenever there's like a foreign movie, because foreign movies, they won't censor anything. So I always check now with foreign movies if there's animal abuse in it. Because I can do nudity, I can do like the goriest things, I can do any of that. I don't have a squeamish stomach. But if there's animal abuse in it, I can't watch it. And I appreciate so much when movie critics and movie reviewers actually have, this and this, like lists of things that the movie has, including things like that. So I think every article of a game should have something like that too. What it has, what it doesn't have.
To be fair, there is, but it's not well established. Way back in the day, movies had a rating. I mean, they still do, but G, PG, PG-13, R. But they typically don't go into specifics. Same thing with video games. They tried doing the ESRB ratings with, Peggy 16 or Peggy 18 or whatever. I mean, but it didn't really expand on why it was appropriate for 18 and older. Like, it was mature violence. That could mean anything. Does it mean I got stabbed in the face with a pen, or
someone got people fighting?
Right. It could just people screaming at each other. Was that a reference to Street Fighter? I don't get it.
No, it's just a joke. Mature violence, like old people mature.
I see. Fighting. Yes. Okay.
It went away. Whatever.
I'll give that a.
You're a Libra, aren't you, darling?
Sure.
Oh my gosh. I'm a Gemini, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah. I guess that. Sure. Do you have another question for me?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Now, this is going back to the very, very first thing that we said. One of the first things. Upon being paid for a review, would you be professional and neutral, or completely honest and blunt?
Completely honest and blunt.
Really?
Yes. You remember that one music card game that we got? Where you were initially enticed by it because it was a card game with musical scales.
I was so excited for it.
We didn't know how to freaking play the game. I blasted the heck out of that. I gave it a 5 out of 10. When I get paid for a review, in my opinion, and I make this clear, you are not paying for a score. You are paying for my time. There is a huge difference between the two. By paying me for a review, you are guaranteeing that I will commit a certain amount of time to properly take a look at this and to cover it. But just because you've paid me does not mean I'll leave any negative comments out of it. And to be honest, holding back does not do the developer any good.
Yeah.
Because as a developer, you should be looking for honest feedback regarding your game. If there's a problem with it, a huge problem, you should have developers or reviewers like me pointing that out to you so that you can go back and fix your stuff, if it's like a video game, for example. If you want people to blow smoke, that's one thing. But if you're actually looking for feedback, you're going to want your reviewers to be honest. Some developers can't handle that. I've had my share of experiences with that. I've given games that I've been paid to do reviews for 4 out of 10s, 3 out of 10s, because I can U-Dog. Remember that U-Dog board game? The developers emailed me. They left comments on my blog. They brought other people in to email me to tell me to consider taking my review down or to increase the score because I was wrong about this or I was wrong about that. I was harassed to change my opinion. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm gonna... If the fact that is happening proves to me that I am maintaining a sense of dignity and self-respect. You know what I mean? No amount... and it's not worth it. Your reputation is not worth $100 or $50 or whatever it is. Like, the minute you sell yourself out to just blow smoke for $50 or $100 a pop, your reputation is gone.
Yeah.
Your reputation over the long term is more important, or at least to me, than that initial $50 to $100 that you'll spend on pizza in 1 week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not worth it. It's the danger, especially if you work for a company like IGN or PC Gamer. If the managers discover that you're just blowing smoke and you're only giving good review scores, there's a good chance that they may let you go. And once they realize that, hey, they're not actually doing their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on the outlet, and I'm sure a lot of these professional reviewers get away with stuff like that anyway. But I'm just saying, like, my reputation is more important to me. The older I get, the less patience I have. So I'm going to tell you like it is, whether or not you like it.
If a developer asked you, and he paid you for a good review, even if the game was crap, would you still do it?
I would not. I would say I will review your game, but I will give you my honest feedback and the score that it deserves, in my opinion. And if you don't like it, then no, I can't do it.
Yeah. It's hard because, like, opinion is one thing, but we were just talking about, like, reviews just having facts in there, you know? Like, just listing, like, what the game has, what are the facts that the game has. But then on the other side, you know, if you're going to be a reviewer and you have to review something, you kind of have to give your opinion too. So
You have
it's
to.
a hard thing to balance.
Well, that's why previews exist. And, I mean, if you're going to get paid for something, typically I take on the paid jobs that are sponsored, meaning it's a sponsored video, and I say in my sponsored YouTube videos, this is not going to be review, but I will play the game, and if you like what you see here, you can buy the game in the below description. There's a link in the below description. I make comments here or there, and I'll even say, I don't like this, I don't like that, but I don't officially review it. But I will still give opinions as I'm playing. A sponsored video is different than a review. Previews, as well, is a more informative look at a game. I do a lot of Kickstarter previews, meaning, like, people are trying to kickstart their game and crowdfund it, and they need people to look at a prototype and give it a proper look and review and stuff. And I'll list it as a preview and not give it a review score. I'll still give you my opinions on it, but it's going to be more of a factual article as opposed to an opinionated one. That's how I get around that problem. But in the rare circumstance where I am being asked to review something and I get paid to do it, I see it as you're paying me for my time, and I push your game to the front of my line, and that's the extent of it. My opinions are my own, and no amount of haggling or whatever is going to make me change it to a 7 out of 10 instead of a 6 out of 10 because you didn't like the way I worded something. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of that going on. Me personally, I value self-worth, reputation, and respect more so than the dollar bill.
Then selling it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Last question for you. Do you prefer quantity over quality video reviews? I think we were talking about this the other day. Me personally, because I get so many games, I have 11,000 or so videos on my YouTube channel. But I admittedly know that the quality on them is not as well or as high as other people have done theirs. Like, there are people out there that will do days and days and days worth of editing for one video. And it's just a 5 to 10 minute video. And it's really good, don't get me wrong. But if I did that with everything I had, I would never get anything done. Because I'm a variety content creator, meaning I cover all sorts of different games. But if my only game was Assassin's Creed, or if my only game was whatever, then yeah, I could probably devote several hours to editing one video, but I can't do that. I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess my question to you is, do you prefer if your favorite YouTuber release, and you can blast me, it's okay. I'm not going to take offense too much.
Okay.
Would you rather have your favorite YouTuber release a bunch of content daily or weekly, or do you prefer them to release a video once every other week or so, but with that video being, like, super high quality and informative and whatever else you like about them?
Okay. So, I like quality videos.
Okay.
To be completely fair.
Okay.
I like when a video, like, I see a bunch of board game videos where they just have the camera and it's, like, moving around, it's doing this, it's doing that. But I really enjoy the quality videos where the cards, like, fade in and things are circled. And when there's, like, little animations or something like that, because it keeps you, like, engaged. And I don't know, I really do prefer I guess quality, but it can't be so overproduced, overprocessed that it actually takes over the quantity. Because that's, for example, there's someone that I watch on YouTube, and he has great videos, but the problem is that he comes out with one video once a month.
Thought you were talking about me for a second. I was like,
No.
oh, great videos. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Yes,
You have great videos too.
Nah, keep...
No, you do. You really
nah.
do.
You have to say
But,
that because you're biased.
Bias.
Bias.
But the YouTuber that sometimes I watch, he only comes out with a video once a month. And that's kind of crazy to me. Even though like his one video per month is really really good, it's almost overproduced. It's like it has quality, but it's too much quality that it's taking over the quantity.
It's like ADHD at that point. Like, it's just constant. Are we talking like cuts every 2 seconds, like the typical ADHD video, or?
No, not the typical, not even the typical ADHD. It's just very informative and very, like, it's like a PowerPoint presentation sort of thing. It has just all sorts of information to the point where it looks like a college professor, type level thing. And that's a great video, but at the same time, it's almost too overdone that he can't come out with anything else for the rest of that month because of all his research in that one video.
Do you find it boring after a while? Is that the problem, or is it like, are the videos too long in that format, or is it just too much information? It's
too much information, I think, for like, it's not even the ADHD talking. I don't know if I have it, maybe I do, but it's not that. It's just that it is kind of too. It's like when you explained the laptop stuff with your mom, and she was like, "What are you talking about? Like, that's too much to learn for such a short amount of time."
I hit the power button. Wait a minute.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
You do this. So even though the video, it goes step by step, it just talks too much about things step by step. And the video wasn't even that long. It's like a 20-minute video, and it's just too much.
But the entire Encyclopedia Britannica was condensed into that 120.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So even though it was a quality video, it was just it took up the quantity and it took up, I don't know. I like quality videos, but when it's very hard to explain. But I hope you understand.
I do understand what you're saying. I personally would love to do more quality videos. Part of my problem is the older I get, the more frustrated I get, and I don't know how to... Like, for example, I want to reach a point with I think I've made great strides in my board game videos. I've purchased a Rode microphone that sits above the camcorder, so there's no longer that annoying beeping in the background because the internal camera was picking up the camera noise. Mm-hmm. I got that figured out. I bought a black felt thing for the table so that it doesn't reflect light too much. I tried to get some more lighting set up to where, there's less glare on the cards. But even still, I want to reach a point where, like, I want a second camera along with some kind of green screen thing where I can put the card onto that area and it'll show up as an overlay on the main picture. So you can zoom in on the card really easily and it's, like, opaque enough to where you can still see what's... Like, stuff like... I mean, I have not figured that out yet. And to be honest, it's frustrating to me.
That's also the problem. To have like really high quality videos, you need to have the know-how, like
and the money. It's expensive. 4K cameras alone are over $1,000 some dollars.
Yes, there's a lot of YouTubers that I found out. The ones that I watch, at least, they have editors. Like, they have actually hired editors. They have friends who are, I would love to be your editor, but I don't have the tech savvy to do it. Like, I can, if you taught me, like, if you actually, if I took the time to do it, I would probably give it a shot, but I wouldn't know how it turned out, and I would be scared.
I have to remind myself on every time I think about this. I'll watch Will Wheaton's Tabletop, for example, or Rodney Smith's Watch It Played. I'll watch these things, and I'll see, oh, that's cool. Things are being highlighted on the screen, digital art, the cards, easily readable, 4K quality. And then I look at the credits, and I'm like, the amount of people that have worked on this video, I'm one person. I don't know half of what these people know. I'm not a sound professional. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the older I get, the more overwhelming it is. And it's just, you really need to know people in the industry or have a lot of money to make.
You need the money to hire them too.
Yes.
In the first place.
Yes.
You know?
Unless you've got well-versed friends that will willing to do it for you for a beer or whatever.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. You have the majority of us, poor to moderate income people have to figure it out as we go with the tools that we have. And that's a whole separate podcast, the journey to get to where I've gotten to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
since I met you, the gaming industry, like I find out, is such a hard industry. It's like cooking and art, and oh my gosh, it's such a big industry. I never really realized it.
Well, you started off with your Ameritrash games, and then when you met me, it was like, no, and there's Euro games that there's thousands of them. Look at this website, Board Game Geek. Look, and you're like, oh my god, so many.
I had no idea. No, I thought there was just Scrabble, Monopoly, Trouble, Operation, Connect Four, chess, checkers. Oh my gosh.
Are you happier now that you've gotten into these games? Like, is this something that you've? Okay, I was just curious to know. Like, did I ruin your childhood?
No.
Now,
oh my gosh.
Okay,
no.
all right.
It makes me a little sad because I never played these games back when I was younger. But it's awesome that I found all this stuff out. Like, it's crazy.
What's sad is that we don't have the time to play them all.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, bonus question.
Oh no.
Bonus question.
Okay.
Top 5. Real quick. Just list them off real quick. The hardest thing about being a reviewer.
Are you serious? I can't.
The hardest.
I hate being put on the spot like this.
Yeah. You always do it to me.
The hardest.
Quizzes
All right.
and stuff.
The hardest part about being a reviewer, for me, is having a queue. Okay. Meaning having 15 games to cover and not enough time to do it. So time.
Okay. I thought you were talking about John Delancey.
Oh,
having a queue.
I wish I had queue. Wait, the only sound effect I have for that is that when he was okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, so time.
Okay, time.
Time, money. The majority of the time, I'm not being paid, so like I have to balance home life and my hobby. So being a reviewer, like money, time, wading through crap.
Comments. Okay.
Well, games first. I'll get to comments.
I thought you said comments.
I meant crap games, as in like finding that diamond in the rough that I'll really like. Like, for example, I'll get 15 review requests, but 14 of those games are, again, Poke Your Eye Out Simulator or whatever other games you're given. You just have to wade through that, and it's time consuming to do that research that we were talking about earlier. Comments, just dealing. My hardest part has always been dealing with the general public. I am not what you would call the appropriate PR person because I tell it like it is. The PR person has to show empathy and sympathy and I see where you're coming from type. Yeah. See, on our end, blah, blah, blah. I don't have time or the patience to handle that anymore.
I don't mind doing that. I like accommodating. I actually like trying to find common ground. Like when you said earlier that you had people like harassing you, like saying, "Oh, you didn't cover the whole thing in this game, and you didn't cover this and this." I would have said something like, "Well, okay, give us a dev build, give us something, to so that we can actually see it in the game, But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that I think I did lose my train of thought. But that's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
You're talking about PR, like you just don't have the time.
I think that one thing that I've had to learn as a reviewer is that you're never going to make everybody happy. It is impossible. No matter what kind of review you write, no matter what game it's for, no matter what you do, you are not going to make everyone happy. So the best advice that I could give to anybody that wants to review something and put yourselves out there, you, be 100% you, do what makes you happy, and the haters will hate and then eventually leave because you're not going to give them the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my take. I mean, I've tried, in my early days, I've tried accommodating people or try to get them to see my point of view. It became tiring. It became frustrating. And there are, on occasion, you would talk to someone that would, oh, you know what? You're right when you say it that way. But 95% of the time, rah, 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 I'm right, rah, 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 and I'm not going to listen to you. I'm just gonna complain about, I'm a fanboy, and you crapped on my game, and no amount of defense that you can muster right now will make me think otherwise about this game that I absolutely love. Fanboys and their games, if you say anything negative, they will jump all over you. I mean, to be fair, there are fanboys out there. I'm not going to call them all out. There are fanboys out there that go, you know what? Yeah, I hate that too, but here's why I really like the game. I like people like that, but I'm talking about the people that are just rude, ignorant, disrespectful, and I've met a ton of those people. And I don't give them the time of day anymore because as a reviewer and as a person, I try to remove that toxicity out of my life because I don't need it anymore. I've reached an age where I'm done with it and I just need to get rid of it. And if you add, like my Discord channel, if I see something I don't like, you're gone. Yeah. If I see toxic, if I see childish behavior that is just stupid, like that one person that joined my Discord channel and created a second account so he could talk to himself on my Discord channel. I'm like, dude, seriously? And I called him out right in front of everyone. I didn't mess. I just said, seriously? I mean, I'm sorry, but it's a slap in the face, maybe. But if I'm not going to say it to you, someone else is going to say it to you at some point. So it might as well be me. So I'm just saying, like, I don't have the patience or the time or the health to handle that level of toxicity. So I get rid of it. Okay. That's Fair just enough. Yeah. So in answer to your top 5, what is it? Time, money,
finding a diamond in the rough, comments, and then what was the 5th one?
Oh hell. Finding time for myself.
Okay.
But that also falls under time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think time to review all these games, I think, is different than finding me time. Balancing home and hobby. Is that a separate thing?
That still ties in, though.
Does it really? Okay.
Yeah, finding time for myself and finding time to review all these games.
All right. What else do I dislike about being a reviewer? The pressure of knowing everything.
Okay. That's a good one.
I can't tell you how many times people will go, hey, Vince, have you played this? Or what did you think of this game? Or I'm like, well, I don't have it. But you review games. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Having to constantly explain that I'm a human being, one person, without any financial backing aside from my Patreon people and Twitch subscribers. I have no other financial backing. So, no, I have not played every single game out there. So
at the same time, though, like, if somebody asks you...
I feel honored.
Even if you...
I feel honored, but at the same time, I feel pressured to come up with something because, I feel like I'm put on the spot. You know what I mean?
No, it's just an opinion. Like, I remember when we first met, I asked you, did you ever play this? Did you ever play that? Did you ever play that?
Oh, okay, I got it.
You did.
I got it. Number one.
Okay.
When certain people ask me my opinion on a game when I've already released a video on it. Bothers...
Okay,
I spent 10-15 minutes creating this video for everybody, and you're going to sit there and ask me in person. Just watch the video. Why should I already know what I sound like when I think about this game. Go watch my stuff.
Yeah. All right, that's a good one.
I won't call anyone out. I'm not going to call anyone out. I'm just simply saying, if there's a video out there that I've created for this game, more than likely it answers your questions. Mm-hmm. So, go check that out. Go.
Then that's where the quality over quantity question comes
Oh,
in.
okay. Wow. All right.
All right, you have how many videos?
All right. Yeah, I am now seeking a new.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. You are now gone. This happens every episode, for the record. I keep firing you, and you keep coming back for some reason.
I don't know, like a tick or something.
Are you always this wow?
Yeah.
Oh, this is wow.
Wow. Wow. I did get one thought from a Lily. She, a friend of ours.
From a lily.
From a lily. I went outside and there was a bunch of flowers sitting. I'm like, hey, that lily might have something to say about game reviews.
Oh, Lily has appeared.
This Daisy didn't have anything to say, but this Lily did. Yeah, Lily is a friend. We game with her regularly. She says, my ideal review would be when the reviewer already has a basic idea of how to play the game. When they can say this game is similar to another game in this respect, or if you can play blank game, then you will probably enjoy this game. So being able to have enough data to relate to other games that you've played is what I think she's saying. If I'm going to spend a substantial amount of money on a game, then it would be good to know if the game has replayability or not, or if I'm going to finish the game within a certain amount of time. And that was her opinion on that. So
that's pretty good.
Good to know. If you folks have any other things to say about this, maybe I'll open up the forum and read off more responses next time we podcast. Unacceptable.
Shut
Sorry.
up, Wesley.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that.
That's unacceptable,
You're
inappropriate.
gonna cut that out, right?
Nope. So your mouth, you
Open salami.
open salami.
Oh my god, that better not be the thumbnail, by the way.
just you yawning. Yeah. All right. So I guess we're gonna jump into our Patreon and Twitch thank yous real quick. Like every month, every podcast, we read off the names and the amount you contributed. Patreon folks, Ratsy's pledged $135 this month for a lifetime of $5,795. Brian pledged $50 for a lifetime of $1,350. Greg Howe pledged $10 for a lifetime of $612. Mindalot pledged $5 for a lifetime of $175. Rip Alpha $1 for a lifetime of $64, and Alyssa Barrett $1 for a lifetime of $23. Thank you all so much. I did send the top people some keys, so go check your inboxes and let me know. Twitch subscribers, White Knight has been subscribed for 52 months. Bessa is 50 months, and Little Lily P 20 months. So thank you all for your support. If more of you can jump on that train and help support us, that would be great. I would appreciate it. Lastly, we'll get into the Spanish sentence of the week, month, whatever we are at this point. And, of course, we need the appropriate sound effect. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. I'll find it. That's not it.
I love you.
That's not it either. There we go. It's my favorite part of the podcast. Okay. So, you came up with this sentence and I have to translate it, correct?
Yes.
I can't believe we're still doing this. Do you still enjoy doing this?
I do. I actually do. It's pretty
Alright.
funny.
Reseñas de juegos por la edición a los juegos de Papa. No te olvides... I'm adding vowels. No
Yes, you
te olvides... Olives. No te olives de Darl? Darly a me gusta. Comentar y subscribirte mi canal para más videos fantásticos. So, my God.
I told him this is an easy one.
It's not easy.
It is an easy one.
Alright, juegos is play. Right?
Yes.
Or is it game? Juego is play, to play. So, play with the...
Jugar is to play.
Jugar is to play. So, juegos is to play, is play. Right? Just play. Well, no. Jugar is the verb to play, but juegos. I get game and play mixed up.
It's a bit.
Is juegos game or play?
Juegos is games.
Games, okay. But see, to me, juego is to play.
Jugar is to play.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so jugar. What? But no, I thought juegos was like a form of jugar.
Juegos is games.
Not. It's separate. They're two separate words.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Rasanas is the guy. A person named Rasanas. Day game. The Rasanas game with addiction. Juegos game de papa. So I'm just gonna call this guy Rene because the Spanish is Rasanas, but that's actually Rene in French. So Rene has games, and he has a game addiction, and he plays them with his father. Note olives. They don't have any olives. De Darl. Darl is Darl. That's. I'm gonna skip that word. Note olives de amegu. So, Darl. What the heck is Darl? Is that a word? Spanish? Is that a word?
Yes.
Darl. Mm-hmm. Darle. Is it Darle?
It could be dale or darle. Darle. Dale or darle. It doesn't matter. It just depends.
All right. Well, that word is the Spanish word for Daryl from The Walking Dead. No. So Daryl doesn't have any olives and he doesn't like them. Comentar y subscriberte. Comment and subscribe my canal para más videos. So a canal, like a root canal, like a teeth, más videos. So what I'm getting here is that Rene has a game addiction and plays games with his dad, whereas Carl has no olives and does not like them, but he subscribes and comments to fantastic videos about root canals. Is that correct?
No.
All right, in that case,
I thought you would get this.
I win.
All right, you win.
Well, okay. I mean, I get a sense of like addiction and games and Papa. I think Dad's gaming addiction fits in there somewhere. And then the whole comment and subscribe. If I had to guess, I would be saying like Dad's gaming addiction, like, comment, subscribe to his videos, his fantastic videos. But I don't know what the rest of it means.
All right, so I'll do something different. I'll say it in English first and see if you can catch it. Okay. So it says game reviews, reseñas de juegos, by Dad's gaming addiction. Right? Reseñas de juegos por la adicción a los
because it's
juegos
backwards.
de papá. Yes.
I see. Why is Spanish always backwards?
It just is. Reseñas de juegos por la adicción a los juegos de papá.
Of the thing. Always of the thing.
Of the something. Of the. Alright. And then no te olvides, don't forget, de darle a me gusta. Don't forget to like, comentar, comment, y suscribirte.
Oh, now you know how I feel, okay?
Subscribe a mi canal, to my channel, for more great videos. Para más videos fantásticos.
Is darle is forget?
Darle is like, you can't, in English, you can't just say...
Oh, I just can't, huh?
In English, you can't say to like. It's weird because it's like a noun in English, but in Spanish, it's always going to be a verb. I guess, if that makes any sense. So darle is like giving him, it means giving him, like give him something. which is kind of weird because it's just it sounds so off in Spanish. But
see, a me gusta. When you say me gusta is like I like something.
yeah, so dale a me gusta means give him
A me like.
a my like. Yeah,
hell is that?
give him a my like because you can't. Never in the English language has there ever been anyone that says don't forget to like, you know, as a noun, whereas we've always said it as a verb. You know, ever since this YouTube and online contraption says, oh yeah, you want to like my videos, you know, as a noun.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. Yeah, hit that like button. Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, something new every day, guys. Something new. Well, I think that was episode 37 of the DGA podcast. As always, thank you so much for your support and for watching. This is Vincent Idly. Catch you guys next time. Take care.
Hi guys.